For RCR Wireless News, I'm Sean Kinney, joined today by Sandro Tavares, Director of Telecom Systems Marketing with Dell Technologies, and we're here to talk artificial intelligence for operators. So, Sandro, let's maybe start by taking stock of how communication service providers are using AI today. I think we're seeing a good bit of traction around call center type applications and in using retrieval augmented generation solutions to query internal data, generate engine tiering documentation, for instance. Is that consistent with what you're seeing? Is it safe to say that this is the right starting point given how clear the ROI is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're 100% correct. So there's a lot going on, right? Tons of interest around AI, obviously. I mean, this is across the board, and particularly in the telecommunications industry, there are several angles that can be explored, right? So one is, of course, utilizing AI to optimize processes and get them to go through tasks faster. Another one is utilizing AI to optimize the network per se. And the third angle is to, use AI to grow revenues, offer new services, and so on. And exactly as you pointed out, like the stepping stone, putting like that, seems to be exactly like these applications that are being used to optimize internal processes, right? So in terms of like troubleshooting, so automates tasks related to troubleshooting, tasks related to maintenance as well, helping field forces to navigate through the tasks that they have at hand, like if they're visiting a site and they have to perform some sort of maintenance. And then, yeah, I mean, this is kind of the starting point. And you also see applications towards customer care, which is another area that, I mean, it can generate significant impacts in OpEx by basically optimizing interactions with customers. That has also a direct impact on customer satisfaction as well, because their problems tend to be solved faster. So we have a good example with SK Telecom, where jointly with partners like Matrix, NVIDIA, we developed with them, led by SK Telecom, which is more important. We developed like this chatbot application that is supposed to be used in customer interactions, right? So, which is a way of, getting more than what you get with chatbots that are deployed today, and actually getting these infrastructure solution and getting this app integrated into the overall systems of the operator and providing results faster to customers. So there's a lot going on. It's a really exciting field.
Then the next frontier will be artificial intelligence in the network. Maybe you could share some perspective on what you're seeing in the market in terms of using AI for continuous optimization. I've seen some focus on energy efficiency and the RAN, spectrum management, a few other areas that really have kind of a straight line to OpEx, but maybe you can share your perspective with us.
Especially on RAN, right? So there's a lot of discussion around network optimization per se, right? So it's almost like, years ago, we were talking about self-organizing networks and how you're using algorithms to optimize network performance. And when you optimize network performance, of course, you're also addressing OpEx, because you're basically getting more out of the equipment that is installed. So it is almost like SON on steroids, right? That, now you have algorithms that are much more efficient in driving the network to respond to basically what is being put in front of it, right? And optimizing the performance of the network for like what the customers are demanding at any given time. So this is, as you said, an area that is a little bit more nascent. There is a lot of companies looking into that and developing early applications. We expect that we're going to have more to talk about it in the upcoming months in terms of like, solutions that we are adding to our ecosystem on that domain. But even when you go like beyond the optimization of the network per se, there is a lot that is also being done in terms of the automation of predictive maintenance on the network, the automation of troubleshooting, like for example, solutions that we just announced with Kinetica, which is around really optimizing troubleshooting, and Synthify, which is more around the predicting potential issues on the network, so really predictive maintenance. So these are pretty good examples of things that are starting to pop up. So what we are doing as part of our AI program is really try to curate these solutions with our partners and looking to these great ideas that are coming out of the ecosystem and making them available to our customers. So it's positive for the companies that are developing this software because they have a much more clear route to market working with us, with NVIDIA and others. And it's good for our customers, our CSP customers, because basically they have big partners like us looking into what is going on in the market and making these solutions easier to be consumed. So as you pointed out, this is an area that is starting, and there's a lot going on.
Beyond optimization of the network, if we think about a future state where AI is present across networking domains, how does it map to more effective monetization of the network? It seems like there's a good bit of industry discourse right now centered on open APIs as a vector for new service revenues. Maybe help us understand the role of AI there in terms of the SMO capabilities and even the BSS OSS aspects of letting a third party developer tap into the network and program it to support some kind of application.
Yeah, I usually split this part of the discussion in two different, you could say, trenches, right? So first one is like, what are the services, right? So what can you actually be offering? And it starts with like probably the most straightforward one, which is really offering GPU as a service to enterprises, right? And that can help enterprises have access to processing capacity for AI workloads, be it like for inferencing or for training of models much faster in an on-demand way. And in the case when you're buying this service from a CSP, you also have the guarantee of full control over the connectivity layer, which can be very important depending on the workload you're running. And you also have more guarantees around like the protection of your data. It is easier for the enterprise to comply with any type of requirement around sovereignty of the data. So then we enter in the whole discussion about sovereign AI, right? So there is a clear opportunity there just with these, and we have examples like Linasarta, which is part of the Indosat group that launched with NVIDIA and us a GPU as a service solution. But then there's going to be others, more sophisticated services that are leveraging the compute capacity, especially like the edge AI compute capacity in the telecommunications infrastructure, and the connectivity that naturally comes with it to be hosting, to be providing like services to enterprises, right? So it was like cases around several different verticals, like for example, education, you have healthcare, and all this great stuff. And we're going to be talking more about this in an upcoming announcement as well. But that is like one part of the story, which is like, what will I run? Then once you define what you're going to offer, you have to figure out how you're going to manage the service and charge for it, right? And that's where the whole discussion around SMO and BSS comes in and becomes very interesting, right? Because even like if you're talking about a more like straightforward application like GPU as a service, you still need to be able to provision this service on the fly. You still need to be able to properly charge your customers for it. So you need like an application that runs on top of the basic infrastructure to control that, and that application has to be integrated to your charging systems. So companies are working on this right now. As part of our latest announcement, we talk about our collaboration with Amdocs on their Amaze platform, right? That is coming to address lots of these requirements. And the expectation is there's going to be even more to come, right? So it is very clear that as we evolve towards CSPs becoming more like, service and digital service providers than simply connectivity providers, that the SMOs, the BSS systems, they're going to need to evolve together with that. And AI is actually a great driver for that to happen because the revenue opportunities are going to be there.
I guess the big picture here is AI for network automation. I think right now we're kind of slightly past rules based automation, where we now have these data models and other tools that can find the relevant correlations and define the rules for us without a lot of manual intervention. And the next sort of step would be around intent based networking, where you establish parameters for the network to operate within. I mean, is that a fair assessment? And on this journey to intent based networking, what sort of challenges do you think CSPs need to start at least thinking about? And I'm also curious, are the challenges more about technology, or are they more about the people, process, and operating model?
Yeah, and this is a great point for discussion because this actually goes way beyond AI, right? This was a demand that was basically already facing our customers in the telecom industry in general, which is the need to digitally transform, right? So if we want the CSPs, if we want the industry to grow, to find new revenue sources, to be more efficient in delivering the traditional services as well, it is very clear that the traditional model of building networks and building support systems will not be sufficient, right? So that's why, like, we have been talking about digital transformation and telecom cloud transformation for a while, right? And AI now comes as another driver or another like barrel of fuel behind this need, right? So it is extremely important as we look into the evolution of services, being them, AI-based services or simply the evolution of, offerings and so on, that automation plays a very significant role, right? Not only when you're talking about provisioning services or provisioning network slices and so on, but actually when you're looking into the operation of the network per se. Think about the fact that we are going to be evolving from a model that is, fully vertical with solutions that are that you have like hardware and software highly specialized coming from a single vendor, and you're moving into a horizontal cloud architecture that is similar to what is deployed in the hyperscaler world, with one fundamental difference, to which my point of view is actually an advantage, which is that this network is highly distributed. The fact that it's going to be highly distributed brings some extreme benefits in terms of like latency, being able to treat data much closer to where it's being generated, reducing costs to move data back and forth. But it also comes with a challenge, right? That the further down you get to the network, you get to the edge, the less compute resources are going to be available on the site. So you cannot afford to wait, for weeks to solve a problem, which is something that in a massive data center can be an option. So basically, the automation of the lifecycle management process of this infrastructure is fundamental, right? And it's something that is going to happen. And that's like, if you look into our own portfolio, the Dell Telecom Infrastructure Automation Suite comes to address exactly that on the basic infrastructure layer. So talking about really managing and automating the full life cycle, including like BIOS upgrades, basically whatever that you would need to do on the servers that are deployed at the edge and far edge locations to make sure that you don't see your costs explode, your maintenance, especially costs explode when you're moving further into the distribution of your network. And AI comes on top of that. From one side, demanding from this infrastructure when we're talking about AI workloads being run in those servers, be them for optimizing the radio access network, be them for workloads that are going to be used by enterprise customers. And also AI is going to be used as well as part of the algorithm behind these automation tools to optimize the way they work. And then that's when we get to like intent-based declarative automation as well, to make sure that you don't have to give like step-by-step instructions for every activity that is going to be performed on the network, that actually you can have algorithms that can troubleshoot, predict something that may happen and take an action immediately, right? So this is kind of like, it may sound a little bit like science fiction, but this is like the future, and it's not going to take a long time for it to become reality.
From my perspective, if it's the telecom systems business or any other business unit at Dell, you all go to great lengths to kind of sit at the center of a partner ecosystem and collaborate in an effort to make it easy for your customers to consume technology. As it relates to AI, I think everyone in our audience is probably familiar with what you're doing with NVIDIA on AI Factory, but maybe you can kind of take stock of where you are today on that AI ecosystem development piece and help us understand why a healthy, vibrant ecosystem is important for the end user, in this case, an operator.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. We see these as extremely important, right? So as our industry is evolving, you see many more players out there creating extremely interesting and useful technology solutions, which from one angle is great and it's exactly what we need. But for another angle, especially for our customers, it becomes a little bit of a challenge in terms of like understanding what is what and establishing this contacts with new players and really deciding what is best for their network. So that's why we believe that companies like Dell, they do play a role in basically getting this whole transformed telecommunications ecosystem more easily consumable, right? And at the center of this vision, we have our capabilities around our Open Telecom Ecosystem Lab here in Austin, and also like with locations in other parts of the world. And in addition to that, the Open Telecom Ecosystem community that we built that has these mandates of getting partners to first of all to get to know each other, to work to develop solutions for customers, and to be connected to the capabilities that Dell has to actually bring solutions to the market. And it's not different with AI. So this initial announcement that we have with the Dell AI for Telecom program is very centered on that, right? So it is about, of course, positioning our solutions and how we can help our customers navigate the transformational steps that they need to take to deploy AI solutions, but also bringing partners together with us, right? And utilizing these relationships that we have in both directions with partners and customers to help find the best solutions for our customer needs. So we see this as of a fundamental importance. And as you pointed out, so this initial announcement has a good list of very important partners, and we'll continue with other announcements with more solutions, more capabilities, more partners in the upcoming months.
If we take a step back from AI and look at the massive network modernizations and transformations that CSPs are undertaking, Some of the themes I think are around hardware software disaggregation, developing multi cloud strategies, and this move towards building a more horizontal technology platform that enables new types of business models. And a lot of those themes have kind of already played out in enterprise IT. So, given Dell's expertise with the enterprise, is there anything that CSPs could stand to learn from what's already happened?
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Sean, because yes, one of the reasons why Dell is making such a significant investment in telecom is because we see a great opportunity, right? So we have been part of the digital transformation process of several other industries. And honestly, we've learned a thing or two throughout this process, right? So the intention is that by leveraging this knowledge and combining with the telecom specific knowledge that we brought in from the market, and I'm one example of that. I mean, I'm a relatively newcomer at Dell, being here for 3.5 years. So we're combining like the transformational expertise with the telecom expertise and applying these to help our customers transform. So this is absolutely important. And we see like this is kind of the reason behind we are being successful right now, because customers are looking at us as a player that is not only there to provide technology, but or technology solutions, but also to bring partners together, to bring the expertise that we have acquired throughout all these years in helping companies transform and being able to then go with them throughout this journey in the telecom world. And now with AI, it's even more because we are at the center of AI deployments basically in every single vertical out there in the world. And we're constantly learning every day with it. And we also be able to apply these learnings to the telecommunications industry. So it's like really exciting times with AI, with telecom transformation. And yeah, here at Dell, we're very happy to be part of all that.
And Sandro, you're going to be talking about this and more in an upcoming keynote at FutureCom down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, October 8th to 10th, right? Maybe give us a little bit of a preview.
Yeah, so really excited about that. So going to Sao Paulo in the beginning of October to do a keynote at FutureCon, and really the story of my presentation is really around what we have discussed here today, right? So it is about how we will be able to bring the benefits of AI to the telecom industry throughout all these angles that we have discussed, and really trying to bring to customers and partners that will be attending our point of view on like what is the best, what are the best steps and what is the best path towards implementing AI in telecom and starting to see results quickly, right? So really excited for this discussion to be back in São Paulo for that, right? And not only, I mean, for the keynote, but also for like the meetings I am gonna have with customers and partners there. I see like the market in Latin America as really a great opportunity, and with all like this transformation happening in telecom with AI as well, with Open RAN, Cloud RAN, there is a great opportunity for these countries to have a stronger presence in the ecosystem, a stronger development of solutions with things like the RIC in the Open RAN architecture with AI applications as well. So really excited to discuss with customers there about how they are looking into all these latest technology trends to drive their business forward, and learn from them as well about like what is going on in the region, what are the constraints that they see for these deployments, and seeing how Dell can help them navigate for them. So yeah, really excited about it. Really looking forward to it.
As always, Sandro, it's great to catch up with you and to get a better understanding of how Dell is helping communication service providers really embrace AI and propel their businesses forward. So thank you.
Likewise, Shen, always a pleasure talking to you.